What's going on, everybody? Today in this video I want to show you guys how you can get AI bots into airplanes in Far Cry 5. And I want to give a shout out first to JOLAN XBL. He uploaded a video showing the basic premise of getting AI bots into airplanes. And I want to also give a shout out to Commando 205 for letting me know the existence of JOLAN. So thank you guys very much. And thank you, JOLAN, for figuring this out. I would have never have thought to do this. But let's go ahead and dive in and show you what you have to do to get AI bots into an airplane. So right off the bat, I'll go ahead and address that this is very finicky to mess with. It's very touchy. You really have to play around with it for a while until you get it to work. So what you want to do is get yourself an airplane. We'll type in plane. I've been using the combat plane. Obviously the combat plane. Don't see much use using a regular airplane. And then the next thing you want to do is get an AI bot, which it's recommended to do the aviator, assaulter, security. Though I did get away with using the chosen defenders. They worked for me as well. Not sure it really matters, but you want to place one AI bot on one side of the plane and then just safety precautions. Put another one down on the other side of the airplane. And I may put, actually, let me put down several airplanes. That way if, whoops, I'm in the wrong area. That way if one plane won't work, at least the other ones will. So let's put another one down here. And let's put another one over here. And then we'll duplicate these guys. Like that. So the next thing, make sure your map is validated. Every now and then the editor will mess with you and say your map's not validated or valid. So next thing you want to do is get a platform. You want to put like a roof over the airplane and the AI. So I'm going to type in 1000. It's just a generic shape, really. And I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to raise this up to probably around, right. Maybe that might be a little too high. Around there. That might be alright. You just have to play around with it until you find that height. Which I don't believe there's a specific height, but I do think if you go too high, it will not work. Now you don't have to set these guys to control zones. I did test it with control zones. I couldn't get this to work to save my life. So, just leave them as default under the control zones. So I've got this airplane right here, ready to go. I'm gonna put my little stick figure man right there. Let's go ahead and jump in.
Assault.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop in the airplane, and we're gonna take off. So we'll take a look down and keep an eye out, see what happens. One enemy has been killed. I assume he got ran over. It happens. And there they go. They're flying like the wind. Now you could set the reckless driver on, and that should work for you. But let's go back to the editor. So there's a few things that I do want to address with this. This was a really cool thing, but I was wondering if there was a way to get the AI into an airplane without a player being involved. So the best trick that I came up with was doing the same premise, but getting putting a helicopter down in front of the enemies and putting an ally AI in front of the enemies, showing the enemies that your ally AI is getting into a helicopter. Set your ally to a control zone up high in the sky and let him take off. And then what is supposed to happen is it will trigger the AI to hop. First they'll get into the turret, and then when they get into the turret, that's a good sign that's going to show you that or tell you, not show you, to tell you that the AI will get out of the turret and then they'll hop into the airplane. Every time they get into the turret, they eventually hop out of the turret and then they get into the pilot seat of the plane. So it's a good sign if you see them hop into the turret, but sometimes they'll hop into the turret and then they'll get out. But I've had more success seeing them get into the turret. So if they get into the turret, you know you're in the right direction. But like I said, it's really finicky and really touchy, so you have to really play around with it for a good while until you get it right. But I tried doing the ally AI getting into a helicopter and flying off into the distance, and it worked. It ended up working for me. And I actually used this trick on a map that I created yesterday. And I started making it yesterday when I found out about this trick, and I instantly had a map idea in my head and I wanted to put it out. I uploaded the map last night and wanted to pretty much see how it would work in the actual game. So if you are worried about this is another thing too, if you are worried about your airplanes running into the invisible barrier, don't be alarmed. When you publish your map and test it out in the actual Far Cry game, the invisible barriers don't seem to be there on the edge of the maps anymore. And the airplanes will actually just fly right outside the map, and then eventually they'll turn around and come back. So that was really good to see and find out. But yep, this is the basic way, or the idea of getting an AI bot into an airplane. You just have to spend a little bit of time with it, depending on what you're trying to use, or whatever type of map that you're trying to build, and however way you're trying to use these airplanes. You really have to play around with it to get it to work. But if you're making a map involving a player into an airplane, you can use this trick. But if you want to make it to where the player's not involved at all with triggering the enemies to getting into an airplane, definitely do the helicopter trick and try doing that. But I think that's going to be it for this one. Thank you again, JOLAN XBL, for finding this out and posting a video on it. And thank you again, Commando205, for letting me know. I was very happy finding that out, and I hope that you guys will utilize this. Curious to see some other maps using this technique and using airplanes in the map. So anyways, that's going to be it for this one. You guys take care now. See you.